This might be my favourite ever video to film. I've only done it once before. I am so excited. I am just coming directly off of the bat of filming my October TBR. I blindly picked it. You would have seen it by now, but if you haven't, go watch it, come back. That is why there are a few numbers missing. These are the ones left over. We're going to pick a bunch to read and we're going to read them this week. We're probably going to do 3, maybe 4 if I'm speeding through them. If you've seen that video, I had a bit of a mare. I had a bit of a disaster. It did not go how I wanted it to go. Go watch it if you want to know why. But I'm hoping this one goes a wee little bit better. But yeah, that is today's video. We're going to pick some of these books and we're going to read them together, and I could not be more excited / nervous, because genuinely the blindly picking my October TBR that I just did could not have gone worse. There was no range, because I said I was in a thriller mood and then I basically got all thrillers. I am in a thriller mood, so part of me wants to get thrillers now, but part of me is like, but my entire TBR for the month is now thrillers, so I kind of don't want thrillers. So I guess in some ways it's a win-win, or a lose-lose, depending on how you look at it. But I'm gonna stop rambling, and I think we're just going to get right on into it and pick the first book that we're going to read together. As I say, we have 1 to 30. Obviously some numbers are missing because I picked them for my TBR, so if we get a number that's missing, we will just roll again. But I'm going to use a random number generator and we're going to pick our first read. I am so scared. Okay. What is it? 17. It's a little one. I'm not mad about that. When I tell you I'm terrified, it feels like, no, I know what this is. I know what this is. Okay, oh, I don't know how I feel about it. I know what it is. I can feel it has like a distinct, oh no, oh, I'm a bit scared. I'm excited but a bit scared. Okay, okay, it's fine. Gosh, I bought these books. Why am I scared of this book? I am excited and I did want to read it. I do want to read it. I'm just scared. I'm just a bit nervous of it. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Wait, it's not what I thought it was. It's not what I thought it was. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm being so dramatic. I thought that this was Then We Lose the Time More. I thought I could feel like a kind of like hard cover thin, but okay, well, okay, sorry. Oh, I'm so chaotic now because this isn't what I thought it was. This is On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I am also a little scared to read this, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's a relatively short book. She is only 240 pages. I believe that this author is also a poet, so I think that the writing is fairly poetic. It says, so this book is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. It says Little Dog, who is our main character, is in his late 20s, and the letter is exploring a family history that began before he was born. So it talks about the Vietnam War and the lasting impact of that. So I think this is going to be incredibly hard-hitting, poetic, beautiful, hopefully. I am a little nervous, like I feel like it's going to be an intense read, but okay, this is the first book that we're going to be reading together, so let's get started.
I'm packing my things to prepare for the summer. Moved into the back house of my landlord's mother. You came on the first night to see what you're missing. Hung out with my roommate, told jokes in the kitchen, then crashed.
Good morning, friends. How are we all doing? I feel like my makeup looks a little funky today. Like, my mascara was not mascaraing, but I don't know if it's one of those situations where I think it looks terrible and everyone else is like, it literally looks the same as every day. Oh, I don't like this lighting. Yeah, that's not good either, but I think we're just gonna have to go with this. Let me put the light on. Is that any better? Not really. This is what we got. This was a chaotic way to start this clip. I have been reading On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. I've not read very much. I'm on page 45. Literally not very much at all. I've just read maybe like the first 3 chapters. Chapters are relatively long. The text is like kind of broken up in places, so it doesn't feel like as long chapters. However, I think I might switch over to the audiobook of this. I know for a fact my library has the audiobook. Where's my phone? No idea where my phone is. That's fine. But no, let me find it. Where is my phone? Anyway, the audiobook for this book is available. I think the writing is like objectively good. Don't get me wrong, art can't really be objectively good or bad, but I do think the writing is like objectively good. Like, this writer is a good writer, and you can tell that they are a poet. I think I googled it and it says they're a poet and essayist, and I guess novelist as well. I get the impression poet is Ocean Vuong's like main medium, and the way they write is poetic, and it is literally poetry, and it's gorgeous. But I just think I personally right now would benefit from having the story kind of read to me. Just because recently, I don't even know why, but recently I've really been craving easy reads, like reads where I don't really have to engage my brain. This is most definitely not that. This is a book where you need to think, which is a good thing, but my brain is struggling with that at the moment. I don't even know why. I think I'm just busy at the moment. So I think if I get the audiobook, that might help. So I think that is going to be the plan from now on, to continue this via audiobook. I may switch back. I will obviously keep you updated. Guys, I just got tricked into going to a horror film. If you've ever been here before, you'll probably know this. I am scared of everything. I don't like scary films. We went to see Speak No Evil, which probably could have guessed actually from the title. If you can hear the dog barking, somebody is very rudely going into their own house. So that's why he is shouting at them. What was I talking about? Oh, the film. It was really good, to be fair. It was just stressful. I just don't like scary films. We got there and we were watching the trailers, and all of the trailers were horror films, and I was like, oh no. It's listed on the cinema website as a thriller. If you Google it, it says horror. I think it's maybe more thriller. It wasn't too scary, but I was just scared the whole way through that it was gonna get really scary, if that makes sense. Like, it was scary, but it wasn't like gonna give me nightmares scary. Well, I hope. Oh no. What was I came on here to chat to you about something. Oh yeah. On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. Let me see how far through I am. Okay, according to the audiobook, I am pretty much exactly halfway through. Okay, I think I'm on page 129. I have been listening to the audiobook of this just while I've been like doing like bits and bobs. It is so beautiful. Like, it's so heartbreaking, but so beautiful. I can't even remember if I really explained what this was about, but we're basically following Little Dog, who is our main character, and this entire novel is basically a letter to his mum, except that his mum can't read, so he's kind of writing it not knowing if she'll ever really know what's in the letter, and he's kind of just explaining his entire life, but it's talking about him and his mother and her mother and his entire family. In some ways it's really, really slice of life, and then in other ways it's like tackling these major like topics of like generational trauma, and it is so sad but so beautiful. And when I listen to it, I do have to focus. It's definitely a book where you really, really have to focus, and it's very short, but I think because it's so small, it's like every single word is so deliberately there, and I'll be listening to it and then I will just hear like one line and that line will just stick with me. You can tell the author is a poet. Every single word is just so beautifully crafted. I think I said this in my last clip, but this is just objectively good writing. I mean, in my opinion. The audiobook is really, really short. It's only, wait, let me check. Yeah, the audiobook is only just over 7 hours. And I think most people, probably not everyone, but I think most people tend to listen to audiobooks a little bit quicker than one-time speed. I'm personally a 1.75 times kind of a gal. So I think, I did do the maths earlier. I can't be bothered to do it again, but I think it's only about 4 hours of the audiobook. So I probably only have about 2 hours left. So my plan is to finish it probably tomorrow, but I'll let you know. I guess you'll see what happens. It has been quite a few days, but I have finally finished On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. I think this took me a while because I just didn't want to rush it. Like, I don't think it's the kind of book that you can binge in one sitting. I mean, maybe other people can, but for me, I really wanted to like take my time with it because, like I've said in literally all of my check-ins, the care that has gone into this book and all of the word choices and how like poetic and lyrical it is. For me anyway, it was very much a book that you have to take slowly and like soak in. I've never read anything like this. It definitely was a more difficult read and I really had to like focus, but every now and again these lines would just seep through and then I would just be thinking about that line and I would realise that I'd stopped listening to the audiobooks. I finished it by audiobook. I would realise that I'd just stopped listening because I was thinking about that line and I was thinking about it so deeply, and I did have to keep like rewinding the audiobook because I kept like, I would just get so fixated on like how beautiful one line was. And Ocean Vuong is so brilliant at capturing like tiny little moments, tiny details, and just making them so vivid and emotive and real. So that is the first book of this video done. We are now going to move on to the second book. I'm going to hand you back over to Past Flow. Welcome back. We are about to pick the second book. Hopefully I like the first book. Obviously I'm actually filming all of these clips at the same time, so I don't know if I enjoyed it, but you will know, so fingers crossed. We are about to pick the second book that I'm going to read. I feel like that first book was quite like poetic literary fiction, so I'm kind of hoping for just something different, whatever that is. I know that there is a really big mix of genres in here. Are we ready for the second book? Let's go. Is that focused? Okay. 28, a medium-sized book. Let's find out the second book that we will be reading in this video. I feel very chaotic today. I'm very like anxious for no reason. It's actually not that deep. Okay, second book. You ready? Okay. Wait, this cover feels... I'm trying to figure out what it is. This cover feels weird. Oh! I do not remember putting this in here. I mean, it's about time, to be fair. Okay. The Silent Patient. I have heard that the plot twist in this is absolutely insane. I've heard it is short chapters and like quick paced, which I'm in a thriller mood at the moment, so I'm really not mad about this. It follows Alicia, who supposedly lived the perfect life, and then one day, 6 years ago, she shot her husband 5 times in the head and she hasn't spoken since. And I'm pretty sure it's from the perspective of her therapist. I think she's in hospital and he's either like her doctor or her therapist. Very, very different to On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. So I'm not mad about that. I love a bit of range. I never like reading genres back to back. Okay, not mad about that. This is the second book that we will be reading. I am on page 126 of The Silent Patient. So a bit over a third, coming up on 40%. I have flown through this, like literally flown through this. I'm reading a lot of thrillers at the moment. I am working on 3 videos basically at the same time and all of them are involving thrillers. So when I got this, I was a bit like, another thriller, not what I wanted. I'm loving it. Also, authors, take note. This chapter length, literally perfect. We're talking like 2-3 page chapters. Yes, yes please. Every single day, yes please. If you make a book 2-page chapters, 3-page chapters, I will read that book in one sitting. It makes no logical sense, right? Because technically it's still the same length book. It's just something about it being broken up, to me anyway, makes it so readable. I will say, because I have the like knowledge, like I've been told the plot twist in this is insane, like I've heard that from everyone, I am so like hyper fixated on it, so I'm analysing anything. So this one I kind of feel like I'm going to get the plot twist just because I have about 50,000 different theories and just like statistically I should get it right. I'm so excited to know if I am gonna get it right because I could literally give you, like, if I had a whiteboard I would write them all down for you. I mean I wouldn't because that would be a spoiler, but when I tell you so many theories, I'm just excited to keep going with this, man. I'm really, really enjoying it. Guys, I am at part 4. So page 242, so we have just a tiny bit left, around 100 pages left, just under. Everything I said in the last clip still stands. I am hooked, I am eating it up, I am reading so quickly, and I have about 1,000,001 theories. I'm kind of trying not to fixate on it too much, but it's really difficult. When everybody tells you that the plot twist is amazing, it's really hard to not just think about that. I'm like being a detective, I'm analysing every tiny thing to the point where I suspect everyone and I have theories about literally everything. So at this point I'm kind of like, I don't see how I possibly could be wrong because I've almost covered all bases. But by that same logic, have I got it right? No. Not really, but I've just been on a little dog walk with my friend Molly. We took our dogs out. I've just come back. It is currently 5:31 p.m. and we're gonna sit and I'm just gonna try and finish this today. And honestly, I reckon this will take me less than an hour because I am literally flying through this. I'm so excited for the ending, it's actually unreal. And like part of me is a bit scared that my expectations are too high. You know that feeling where everyone's hyped to pick up so much that it almost can't live up to that? I'm trying to lower my expectations a little bit because plot twists don't normally blow my mind. I'm normally just like, oh, mad, okay, didn't see that coming. So I'm trying to put my expectations like kind of to normal. I'm so intrigued to see if I've got this right. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna finish this now.
So I drew on the walls with a crayon, like a kid who can't understand how bad he wants it. The drip in the faucet, I'm not getting back my security deposit.
Are you joking? Okay, despite having literally 17,000 theories, didn't get it. Did not get it. I just finished. I was gonna say that I figured it out. I didn't. I figured it out literally on the same page that it was. Like about 3 paragraphs before it was revealed, I figured it out. The last few pages, I was giving myself credit like, yeah, you got it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't get the plot twist. I got it on the page that it was revealed, like as they were revealing it. That was such a good plot twist. It actually was so good. I thought it was not going to live up to expectations. It was actually so good. To me, that was the best kind of plot twist because it was there all along. Like it was embedded in the story. It wasn't just like left wing out of nowhere. Where on earth did that come from? It was always there. Guys, I think this is a 5-star book. I literally never give thrillers 5 stars, but I think it was. I was engaged the whole time, like so engaged. Like honestly, I'm a dyslexic girly. I'm an ADHD girly. It is difficult to keep me engaged throughout an entire book. If I'd have had the time, I genuinely think I could have read that in one sitting. There was no point of this where I was bored, and that never happens to me. I get bored so easily, and I'm always having to like force myself to focus in a book. You should read this if you haven't already. I do feel like everyone and their mum has already read this. I'm so happy I finally read it because I also own The Maidens by him. The Maidens is way more like dark academia, which will be so interesting because I really like his writing style. I hope that one has short chapters as well. If you're ever in a book slump or just feeling like on the verge of one, I reckon give this a try. Super short chapters, super quick paced plot. Okay, I'm interested. Did anyone manage to figure out this plot twist? Because maybe I'm like the only one, but I didn't see that coming and I was trying. Like I was actively trying to figure it out. Didn't even get that close, to be honest. As I say, I figured it out about 3 paragraphs before it was revealed, and honestly I think that's because they were just starting to reveal it. They just hadn't literally said the words and I was like, oh my gosh, I got it. I didn't. We're done with the second book. I'm so happy that we got this. This was such a good choice. Right, it is time. I already know what the third book is, but it's time for you to find out. So, I'll tell you this, it's very different. So, go and watch that. Friends, it is time for us to pick our final book. I don't think I will ever get over this like unfounded anxiety about randomly picking a book and knowing that I have to read it. It's such a low stakes situation, and yet every time I do something like this, genuine nerves, genuine fear. We have still books 1 through 30. Again, obviously a bunch are missing. Hopefully the number generator does us nice and we get a third good book. Are we ready? 19, are you still there? Another relatively short one. What could this be? It could be the Virgin Suicides. It could be, I don't know, I'm not gonna guess. This is another weird feeling cover. I don't know what this is. It's not the Virgin Suicides. Okay, Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healey. This is a book, honestly, that I would not have picked up if it hadn't have been in here. It's like just one that kind of like I forget that I own. But my mum read this and she really, really liked it. I think she gave it 5 stars. And she said it's very moving. It says Maud is forgetful. She forgets almost every detail in her life, but there's one thing that Maud is sure of, that her friend Elizabeth is missing. It says everyone has forgotten Elizabeth, everyone except Maud. I think this is another sort of like mystery, but I get the impression anyway that this is going to be more of like a literary feel. But yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this because I haven't heard anyone talk about it other than my mum. Me and my mum's book tastes don't always go hand in hand, but they do cross over sometimes, and this does sound like something that would be up my alley. It says Maggie O'Farrell meets Gone Girl. Well, I love Maggie O'Farrell and I love Gone Girl, so I'm so not mad about that. Okay, cool. I'm excited. This is the final book we'll be reading in this video. Pals, I started Elizabeth is Missing a few days ago and I have been on page 20 for so long. And this is absolutely no comment on the book because I was feeling like this before the book. I'm a little bit scared that I'm going into a book slump. I feel like it's because I've read so many thrillers back to back, and I know that this isn't really a thriller, but I think because it's got like a mystery subplot, and honestly at the 20-page mark, obviously I can't really make much of a judgment, but at the 20-page mark it's reading more like a literary fiction than a mystery anyway. But I'm getting scared that I am just heading straight first into a book slump, and it's making me so nervous, and I've been like not wanting to pick this up because I have it in my head that it's a mystery. So I don't know what to do. I'm not DNFing it, obviously. I'm 20 pages in, and actually I think the writing's really good. So I think I've just started a free trial of BookBeat, which is an audiobook app. And I was thinking of starting The Crimson Moth, honestly. I was just vaguely in the mood for that. But I think instead I might actually try and listen to some of this via audiobook. I might, because I want to listen to some other stuff this month as well, and I won't have the hours. I might not listen to the whole thing by audiobook. I think I might go back and forth. I think that might be the plan, because otherwise this video is just not going to come out in time. And yeah, I just don't want to slump myself out by reading too many thrillers, even though again this isn't really a thriller. I guess I didn't really have anything to update. I just felt like I should update because I haven't said anything to you guys in a few days, even though you literally would have been none the wiser. Anyway, those are my updates. I'm on page 20. It could very much be up my alley, but I'm thinking audiobook, physically reading. I think we're going to do a mismatch. And the next time I check in with you, hopefully we will have made a little bit more progress. It's been a little bit of a long time no see situation. I have been procrastinating this book. I've been procrastinating it, but progress has very much been made. I have just finished filming a 24-hour readathon. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. I've just filmed one. I'm looking at my schedule. I think it's more likely that this video is going to come out before that one. That one might not be out for another week or so. So keep your eyes peeled, but know it's coming. I tackled my monthly TBR in that video, so we read a bunch of those books. But I also, just in the bits where I was having dinner or like taking the dog for a walk, like the little breaks, I decided to listen to the audiobook of Elizabeth is Missing. So it was only a very small proportion of the video and I didn't really go into any thoughts in it because obviously we're reading it now, but I did make a good amount of progress. I think during that time I made it to around the 60% mark. I'm now at 75% of the way through the book. Look, it might have taken me a while, but we're there. We're finally making progress. And guess what? I can finally tell you what the book's about, because guess what? It's not a thriller. Despite, I'm pretty sure in the last clip it was just me being like, I'm in a thriller slump, I'm in a thriller slump, I don't want to read this. It's not a thriller. It's literally not a thriller. It's basically a contemporary, maybe kind of historical fiction, and then there's a mystery subplot. So basically, we're following Maud. Maud is older and she's struggling with memory loss and she's really trying to keep a track of everything, and she thinks her friend Elizabeth is missing. That is the now timeline. There's also a then timeline. So the then timeline is basically Maud when she is, I don't actually know how old. In my head, maybe around 15. I know she's definitely under 18 because at one point she tries to go into a pub and then they're like, just sneak in because you're not actually old enough. Unless it's set in America. No, it must be English. The then timeline, we're following Maud as a younger person, a child, and her... Wait, can I say this? Oh, maybe I can't say because I don't think it's on the back of the book. Let's just say there's another mystery going on in that timeline. All of this stuff from the past comes in because she keeps having lots of like flashbacks and memories and stuff. So while she's struggling to keep a track of things in the present, she's actually got a really good grasp of the things that happened years and years ago. So we're kind of following a mystery that happened then. And then we're also kind of vaguely following her trying to find Elizabeth, except that she's really struggling to make any progress with that because every time she kind of gets somewhere, she's struggling to keep a track of what she's doing. Did any of that make sense? I don't know, I have a massive headache. But yes, I am now 3/4 of the way through the book. My plan is to hopefully finish it today. But as I say, I've got a really big headache and I do need to go to work in about 3 hours. I am excited to finish this book. I'm excited to see where kind of both of these mysteries are going because I have a very, very vague idea, at least of one of them. I'm not too sure about the past timeline, but I think there's a possibility the ending could be very, very sad. This book definitely tugs at your heartstrings. You will love Maud. You will fall in love with Maud. But the book does such a good job of portraying her with so much empathy, but you can also see the frustrations of everyone around her struggling also with Maud's memory loss. I think if you've ever known anyone who has dealt with Alzheimer's, and it's never specifically said that that's what Maud has, but it's kind of implied. I think if you've ever known anybody, because that is such a like heartbreaking experience, I think this will hit you deep. But it is also beautifully told with so much empathy for everyone, so much empathy for Maud, but also for her family, because you can see that they are getting upset and frustrated with her. I don't really know where the ending's going to go, but I think it could be really, really sad. I think if you enjoyed the Thursday Murder Club, it's not similar, but it's not dissimilar. Thursday Murder Club is a lot more light-hearted and cosy, but the first one in particular in that series definitely has like more deep, sad themes, and it kind of talks about aging and lots of conversations to do with that and how we see older people. And I think this book, if you enjoyed those elements of that book, I think you might enjoy this book. It's not as cozy, it's definitely a lot more sad. I think if you're a fan of Thursday Murder Club and that kind of writing, you might enjoy this. Anyway, I have now been talking for a very long time. I'm going to go and attempt to finish this book now, so I will either talk to you later today and say I finished it, or I will talk to you in many, many, many days and say I finished it. Either way, hopefully the next clip will be me saying that I finished it. I finally finished this book. I feel like I've been reading this for a long hot minute, but we are finally done, I am glad to say. I can't lie, the ending ended up not being what I was expecting, because in a lot of ways it was kind of hinting at it the whole way through, so I kind of thought, oh, it won't be that. But then at the same time, it was also relatively open-ended, like it kind of... I mean, there were two mysteries, I'm only talking about one. One of them was very clear, like this is what happened. And the other one, I won't say which way around was which, but the other one was a lot more open-ended. Although it kind of implied what happened, but it never came out and said it. Like it kind of said, oh, we'll assume this is what happened. And I guess the point is that the mystery was never the big thing about this book. Like the mystery very much was a subplot, and the, I guess, point of the book, or like more of the core of the story, was to do with Maud and her like coping and struggling with her memory issues, whether that was Alzheimer's or something else. Again, that's never specifically said, and I think that side of the story is so beautiful. And then yeah, the mystery, I guess, kind of comes down to personal taste, what you're into. It definitely was more of an open-ended one, but I'm not personally opposed to an open-ended answer. But I do think the writing in this was so, so gorgeous. I think the way she blended the two timelines was so seamless. And obviously I audiobook this and physically read it. I would say I actually probably did about 50-50, which is very unusual for me. But I just want to say the audiobook actor was so good. I really would recommend the audiobook for this. She kind of did like 2 different voices for, it's all one character, but obviously the character kind of slips into younger, and she does, it's not like super obvious, it's really subtle, but you just notice it when she goes back to the older voice. But she just did such a brilliant job of like blending the 2 voices so seamlessly, so I would highly recommend the audiobook if anyone wants to listen to this. But yeah, this was super heartwarming but also quite sad, but I think the mystery element was very much like a subplot, and that is the 3rd and final book of this video done. So let me go grab the other 2 and we can do a cheeky little wrap up to end up. Guys, there we have it. Another week of reading done, and we got 3 incredibly different books. Obviously we started off with On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This was very much literary fiction meets poetry. Then we had The Silent Patient, which was like super fast-paced thriller. And then Elizabeth is Missing, which was much more slow pace but reflective and heartwarming, but also sad at the same time. And yeah, all in all, I would say not a bad week of reading. Definitely some books that were more challenging than others and maybe a little bit out of my comfort zone. But that's why I like doing these videos. I'm someone who reads a lot of genres, but it's very much easy to kind of fall into comfort zones. So I like that these videos make you pick up books that you weren't necessarily gonna get to anytime soon. If you guys want to see another episode of this, let me know. And honestly, I would really like to do it again. This is the 2nd time I think that I've done this, and it's a lot of fun, so I might do it again. Just out of like pure curiosity of what other books we could get. I think it could be fun. But let me know. Let me know if you've read any of these books as well and what your thoughts were. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye!